Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Welcome, America, to Amendment1Radio.com, where your First Amendment rights are still safe to say what's on your mind. Welcome, people. We're back with another Amendment1Radio.com. Here to sit there and tell everybody what a bunch of crooks we have in D.C. again. Of course, it ain't like they left. They're still here. So, yeah, definitely. So, actually, hopefully, we're expecting a phone call here in a couple minutes from a guy named Joe, hopefully, in the next few minutes. Possibly another fellow that was a top CEO of quite a few, actually, companies. So, hoping to hear from them as well. But, yeah, anybody that's interested want to call in and talk about some wonderful politics, let's try 727-493-2055. And we got to give credit to Nolan Ray for his Talkwad network here at the studios. We got a studio in Tampa, a studio in Clearwater. So, and yeah, for those people that just want to go do their own show, then hey, come on in. You know, the same number, you can call in. You can set up an appointment and do your own show. Hey, if an idiot like me can do it, anybody can. So, yeah, of course, it ain't nothing like the other stuff, but like regular terrestrial radio. But internet radio is pretty easy to do. So, but it's just like, yep. So let's get the ball rolling here and dive right into this and see what kind of a mess we can make. So, yeah, I've been sitting here listening about this sequester stuff, and it's just like, God, what a major pain in the neck. I mean, you know something, they come up with more new technical terms to sit there and basically cover up, you know, the scams that they're sitting there pulling on the public. So, and it's just like, unbelievable, you know, because it really makes me laugh that they want to sit there and say that they got to figure out how the Washington can reach a deal so that way they can cut $1 million in spending for the March 1st deadline. And it's just like, well, hey, folks, last I checked, March 1st is tomorrow, but yet they gave them the weekend off. So, you know, half these clowns are sitting out there playing golf, you know, doing a couple hookers, you know, doing that kind of stuff, you know, partying with their buddies up there where they get all the best drugs and everything. So, you know, hey, give them a high five and tell the politicians, go for it, guys. You done sit there and screwed all of us better every day. So why not just bend us on over and give it to us good? So, yeah, so needless to say, I have no faith in any political realm of anything. So, and actually what's really funny is I called up, because we're out of Tampa, Florida here, and I actually called up one of the major law firms today, and I told them, I said, hey, I want to talk to your constitutional attorneys and see just exactly how good you guys really are. They sat there and told me, okay, they put me on hold. So then the girl comes back and tells me, she says, well, what is this in regards to? And I told him, I said, I know this is going to sound really way, way out there. I said, but I need you to ask your attorney, what do you think about an impeachment process? You know, is there the grounds that are based on the fact that, you know, when they took their oath of office, that they sidestepped it? Not to mention the fact that they sidestepped the Constitution totally. As a matter of fact, I think there's about 42 executive orders that were signed into place that actually sidestepped the Constitution. So I find that actually major impressive that, you know, the problem here is the fact, especially the last one. I mean, the last one on the First Amendment right, where they're kind of nipping that in the bud there, to sitting there letting the Secret Service, when they're going in there and you have certain politicians that are in running for office or campaigning or anything like that, if the Secret Service is appointed to them, then if you're walking outside and somebody like me that wants to walk outside and sees a politician, and I've sit there and tell them, hey, you're a scumbag, you're a joke, you know, you're nothing but garbage. Well, guess what? It's a felony now. That's right, folks. Your First Amendment right was just squashed. What they basically did was they opened the door. This is something that they were going to do on the agenda of Barack Hussein Obama from 4 years ago. People, I've been preaching to everybody and telling them this man is a wolf in sheep's clothing. The whole political party that he's dealing with is the same political party on many aspects of Bush, Clinton, and even partially Bush Sr. So not to mention the fact that when was the last time that you sit there and watched a politician that goes in there with 4 years at $145,000 to $165,000 base salary and comes out a multimillionaire? Pretty interesting. How does that happen? Well, let's see. They're able to take their money and make investments through investment tips that they are allowed to obtain legally. You know, and the people in the regular world, we call it insider trading, I believe what is really considered. So it's like, okay, well, what do you do? You know, I don't know of Joe Blow on the street there or middle class America. You know, I don't get no stock tips or else I'd be making millions of dollars too. So, you know, and that's the whole thing. Well, what do you do? Well, you check and see. And, you know, we have to flip a coin and it's a 50-50 shot. We either make money or we lose it. So 9 times out of 10, we usually lose it to the stockbrokers and all them jerks that sit there and take your money and lie to you anyways. So it's a big vicious circle. So, and this is why I tell people, you have to look, you have to do your research. You got to watch your politicians. You got to see what their pros and cons are. You got to see what they vote for and what they vote against. Because if you look at their track records, 9 times out of 10, you will see who they're actually voting with. Are they voting with the American people of the American Party that we need to start? Or are they voting with their buddies in the Democrat Party or the Republican Party? So, or the right wingers or the left wingers and, you know, and all these wingers, you know, and it's just like, they're nothing but a bunch of wingers anyways. I know what I like to call them, but it ain't starting with a W. But, you know, and this is the whole thing. And it's like, people, 2014, we have the basic election coming up for your mayors, your senators, you know, your Congress people, you know, your town sheriffs and everything like that. You need to start now. Okay? Because here's the thing, 2014 is going to be a very crucial election because of the House, the Senate, and all the representatives that are involved there. We need to get these people out of office. It doesn't take much to run for office. People, if this party goes into a Democratic Party, a Democratic House in 2014, that gives the Democrats 2 more years to go in there and just totally devastate the American economy. But now here's the catch. It's not just the Democrats, okay? You know, I sit there and I listen to Rush, I listen to Glenn Beck, I listen to all these guys, and, you know, each and every time I hear conservatives, you know, we're here to help. You know, this is why we don't like the Democrats. You know, we're trying to help the American people. Well, let's think about something. I mean, seriously, sit down and think about it. You know, you people go in there and you look around and you think, let's talk about slogans, hope and change. Well, you know, I was hoping for some change. Didn't work out for me. And it damn sure enough didn't work out for nobody else. We got Obamacare. We got sequester. We got fiscal cliff. We got the Bush tax cuts. So that way the upper echelon of the 1% of the world, the United States that makes all these millions and billions of dollars, they got to pay more money now. No, they don't. They're not paying a dime more. In fact, they're probably paying less. But the thing of it is we don't know, because we don't know the right people to get the information for these kind of tax breaks that each and every person is entitled to? Or how do you sit there and twist it or bend it a little bit so you can get more money out of it? This is the whole thing. And it's just like, this sequester thing. All it is a big sham to sit there and cover up the fact that they're going to tax you more. Flat out, that's all that's going to happen. You're going to get taxed more. These other people are going to sit there and say, well, the government's got to do this. Well, guess what? A lot of your military, law enforcement, and all this kind of stuff that's going on, especially military, I've already been told that a lot of these guys have been told that they have to take a mandatory 2 weeks off before 2014, and it's without pay. Well, something, if you got to do it, you got to do it. So, it's part of it. Now, does it affect us? Well, yeah. Our schooling takes effect. Law enforcement, all these so-called first responders. People, the government's job is to sit there and scare you. During the Bush administration, how many times did the national level of terrorism go up to yellow or high threats of red? And each and every time that happened, something always happened to the effect of your gas prices shot through the roof, taxes went up, a new tax came into play, or, something that cost American people more money out of their pocket. Well, guess what? We've got a new group in the office that they use better words. Stuff like hope and change, sequester, fiscal cliff, all this wonderful stuff that, it's so good to hear them sit there and say this. But something, it doesn't do a damn thing for anybody. Not us. So this is why I tell people out here now, hey, get off your keisters and start thinking about this. It's 2013. Tomorrow will be March 1st. This is where the American people, forget the Tea Party. It is a joke. All right. I sit there and I called it. When the Tea Party first came out, I told a good amount of my friends, I said, hey, they was all telling me, well, the Tea Party is going to make the difference. They're going to do this and they're going to do that. No, they're not. The Tea Party was basically pretty much invented by the Republican Party. So that way they can go in there and do Sarah Palin's famous words. They're going to do a resurgence of the Republican Party. So that way they can rebuild the Republican Party from within and make it the stronger of the two parties. So that way they can dominate, rule again. Well, guess what? Didn't happen. So, the slander campaigns came out, the rock throwing started, the name calling started, and all of a sudden you had people starting fights and riots with the Tea Parties and stuff. These were people that were sent in there to sit there and start this kind of stuff, and it's ridiculous. So, but we bought it. Our government is a sitcom show. Okay, it is, well, not even a sitcom. It's more of a reality show. The reality basis on it is this. It's a magician reality show. Anybody out there ever see the magician that goes in there and does, let's see, he wears a mask and he goes in there and says, okay, well, hey, I'm here to give you the trade secrets of how the magicians do their tricks. Well, guess what? This is what we're doing in Washington. This is what we call smoke and mirrors. Sleight of hand. I mean, think about it, people. If you want to sit there and take away your rights, something comes down the pike that's going to scare you. The boogeyman's back in the backyard again, or the terrorist level threats are back up to yellow, back up to red. We got guns coming from all over the states here where they're killing everybody out here. All these guns, these horrible, terrible guns, they're just killing everybody. Well, something, I proved it many times, and I proved it even on my show. I sit there and stuck a 44 Magnum on the table, pointed it at myself, and something, I told anybody, I said, hey, if the gun kills me, then something, put me on YouTube and show me, and show everybody else out there that, yes, guns do kill people. Well, we're talking about 2-3 months later, here I am, still busting my chops and giving everybody crap. So, and this is the way that it goes. So, and it's just that simple, people. Guns do not kill people. It is the people behind the guns. But yet our government wants us to think that, oh my God, all these poor little kids got killed. You know something? It is a tragedy and it is a sad thing. But let's face facts. You want to know what kills more people in this United States? Baseball bats. And guess what? You also already have on Fox News and C-SPAN and stuff where they're talking about, law enforcement agencies that have been going into homes in New York that are actually taking the guns out of people's homes. So, and it's just like you've also got, different acts that are sit there and that they're trying to pass through. If they pass this gun ban that basically describes pistol grip, that's 150 different kinds of guns. That's damn near every gun you've got. So this is why I say, people, you got to wake up. You got to start seeing what's going on. You can't sit on your ass. You can't bury your head in the sand and be an ostrich no more. You got to get fired up. Americans, we have to take America back. We have to become bigger than government. We have to get to the point to where we stop them in their tracks. Because here's the thing. They want the guns. Period. Because if you remember right, how did Hitler get to his rise with so much fear and everything? Because actually Hitler did a lot of good things in his first so many years. I mean, he even did things that, affected the United States, even to this day, that were positive measures for mankind. But also at the same time, he went in there to his own people and he disarmed them. Anybody out there remember World War II and the beginning of the SS? That was Hitler's own group that if you didn't comply with what he said, you were killed. That simple. Well, guess what, folks? Here is the problem. The problem is this. We are following those footsteps right now. Anybody wants to sit there and say, well, I'm just picking on Obama because he's a black man and that's the reason. No, something? I'm not racist because something? I'm an equal opportunity offender. I don't like people sitting there lying to people straight out of their mouth and can look them in the eye and lie as good as a politician can. They are useless to me. They don't do nothing for me. They don't make this world even a better place. I mean, it's just that simple. People, look back. The last good president that we actually had for this United States was John F. Kennedy. The powers to be thought they had another puppet in there and said, well, we're going to have this man do what he needs to do and everything's great. Well, he almost got us in a Cuban Missile Crisis, but he backed us out of it and got us out of there within 25 minutes of starting a nuclear war. That's how close that it came to be. It was under 25 minutes. People, they were going to go to war, but it got squashed at the last minute. And then whenever old JFK decided, well, hey, I'm pulling all of our troops home. We're going to start rebuilding America. We're going to make things happen for the American people. Well, guess what happens next? He gets his brains blowed out. And for all you boneheads out there to think John Oswald, or Oswald himself there, shot him, you're fools. You know something? Because that was the whole thing. And, even when Nixon came along and Watergate happened and, the breaking into the safes and stuff, the whole problem there was Nixon had the evidence. He had the proof. This is what it's always been said that, these are the rumors that were done. Well, something, I don't know if it was true or not, but, it's pretty interesting. But the problem is nobody will ever be able to find out the information that was in those safes and that was stolen by Watergate. Supposedly it actually had the people's names that actually were involved that killed JFK. So, I mean, interesting, very fascinating. But, and this is something that we as a nation have to start paying attention to. You see different leaders that, different politicians, if the politician's doing good, that he's up on top of the world. If he's doing bad, a sex scandal happens to him, or he falls from grace and, he laundered money, or he cheated somebody, or he did something over here on the other side. It's all part of politics. You're either going to make it or they put you out. The good old boy system there is alive and well and does not stop. Now, for all you people out there that want to be Democrats and Republicans, you better think again real quick, because look into your children's eyes and your grandchildren's, and you look them in the eyes and sit there and say, can I sit here and destroy your future anymore? No, you can't. It's absolutely ludicrous that you would sit there and let these politicians destroy your children's futures for tomorrow. You are putting them in a position to where they will be slaves for the system for life. I don't need Glenn Beck. I don't need Rush Limbaugh. I don't need them guys to sit there and come out and say, oh, well, the right does this and the left does that, and Obama's trying to do this over here because he's got a hidden agenda signing this over that. No, folks, it's both parties that are involved. I mean, it's like I made my point many times to sit there and tell people, hey, you go in there and you look at the presidential race we just had, okay? What a joke. It was nothing but who was the best liar and who looked cool lying about it. I mean, because the fact that, and it's just, it's crazy. Oh, but, and it's just, and this is the problems we have, for two guys that sit there and busted each other's chops and sit there and said, oh, well, you're lying about this or you're lying about that. Well, what happens after the day after the election? They're sitting there having lunch together, laughing and joking and having a good damn time. And, to me, that sits there and tells me it's like, okay, if I was Romney and I was talking to Obama, I'd be sitting here saying, dude, we duped them so bad. The American people, they believed everything you had to say and everything I had to say. And you know something? Hey, that a deal on the backside that we made here that's going to take care of me for life, that's fantastic. Because you know something, brother, when it's all said and done, you're good for another 4 years. You're going to go down as one of the best presidents in the United States because you made all this change happen. No, it doesn't. It's lies. It's continuous lies to the American people. And this is the thing, this sequester thing also, when it comes in total part, that it actually gets put into their laws that they're going to try and push this thing through, it raises taxes. Okay, we're looking at something that's going to be raising taxes damn near up to 20%. So, and that's the whole thing. Can you afford more money? Can you sit there and have that pre-K school be canceled out? Can you have different aspects of government jobs or, mass production jobs? Can you afford to be laid off? You want to sit there and listen to these guys and they sit there and tell you that they're going to tax this, they're going to tax that. And, small business, mom and pop businesses, they're going to be able to make more money because we're going to raise the actual income from $7.75 to, I believe it's like $9 for minimum wage. Well, guess what? When you raise that to $9, that means everything else goes up. Food goes up because now they have to pay more to these people. So that means their prices of their stuff has to go up. And this is a problem that you don't see. By the summer, and I'll go ahead and call it now, I'm figuring by June, we should actually be over about $4.25 a gallon because, they've already speculated that they're going to be up near $5 a gallon. And what we'll do is when they take it back down to $4, we'll be happy. But now the government's already came out and said, no, we're not doing that. There's been all these rumors about that. We can't have this kind of stuff being talked about, and it's just not going to happen. Why is our gas high? Somebody out there, tell me, call me, let me know. I want to know why our gas is so high. I feel that our gas shouldn't be over $1 a gallon. We got 7 billion barrels of reserve, and we're not doing nothing with it. We've got refineries that are, are slowed down. We've got oil wells that have slowed down. So, because we got to meet supply and demand. It's not happening. Our government has failed us totally. There's not a catch to sit there and say that, oh, well, they're going to make it up to us. We dishonored our troops. The government did. You had a president for many times that he was running, when he was running for office, that he would not even wear an American flag on his lapel. But when he got the Democratic nomination, that night he had American flag on his lapel. And it was rumored to be told that they told him flat out, if you do not wear that pin, you will probably not be elected. How many times have you seen clips, videos of Barack Obama sitting there during a national anthem, looking off, twiddling his thumbs? There's actually a YouTube video of him doing a national anthem where he's twiddling his thumbs. And I mean, and this is the kind of guy that we have as a leader. But I know people are going to sit there and say, well, you're just picking on him. Why do you want to say bad things about him? Bush was no better. Bush created the war. Bush did this and Bush did that. No. Corporate America did that. Corporate America is doing the same thing with Obama. And for all of those out there that want to sit there and say, well, hey, I wanted to be a part of history because he was the first black president to ever be elected. Well, guess what? You're part of history. You're part of the history of the dumbest people that went out there and elected somebody based on a color. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't check nothing out. You didn't look at his background. You didn't even check to see if, what was going on with him. Here's a guy that supposedly, that it's already been proven that he's not legally married to his so-called wife. Here's a guy that also 2 years into his candidacy or presidency there that didn't have to provide a birth certificate. He also proclaimed that he's going to sit there and have a transparent government. Well, if you got a transparent government, how about those 42 executive orders that you signed? I didn't know nothing about them until way after they were signed. And I had to dig for them. Most of your American people, they don't give a rat's ass about worrying about anything about politics. It does not affect them. Well, this is where it does affect them. Each and everything you eat, do, work, taxes, the whole damn 9 yards is affected by government. This is where the American people, this is where you've got to make the change. There is no more tomorrows. There is no more next day. There is no more of this. Well, we'll wait till the next election and somebody else will come in there that will really truly mean it. They'll do something. They'll make it happen. No. I say this. We start impeaching. You don't have to only impeach a president. You can impeach the political people that are around him as well. Especially the one dumbass buffoon, Joe Biden. You overzealous, rich, pain in the neck, dumbass vice president. You're a disgrace to this office to sit there and tell somebody that, oh, you don't need an AR-15 to sit there and fight somebody off out of your house. Get a shotgun. Just blow a hole through the front door. That'll scare them bad enough to where they're going to run. Oh, you know something? Hey, Biden, I tell you what, break into my house. I'm not going to blow a hole through the door because your moron capabilities are sitting there saying, oh, well, all you need is a single shot shotgun and that'll scare them away. Well, no, because in most of the areas, when you do something like that, you usually piss them off worse. And that's when they come in there with their AK-47s and they zip your ass and your whole damn family too. And then what's it going to be? Oh, well, they had a shotgun. Sorry about your luck. We didn't know that criminal was going to go in there and have an AK-47. How did he get it? Let's see. We've got stricter gun laws, stricter ID requirements for buying guns at gun shows. But yet these guys are still obtaining illegal guns. Kind of reminds me of, let's see, this one particular incident. I believe it's a big government scandal, something to the effect. It almost sounds like a movie. Fast and Furious? Damn. Trying to think of what that old bald-headed guy's name was that sit there and played that. Oh, that's right. No, it's not about the movie Fast and Furious. It's about the guns that the United States shipped down to Mexico that made their way back into the United States that are killing Americans. That these guns were tagged and bagged as being melted. But yet we sold them to Mexico. Unbelievable. Would we do something like that? Nah, not our government. Our government's too damn strong to go in there and do something like that, because when our government says something that they're going to do, they damn well do it. And us American people, we know it because we watch them on TV and they tell us they're going to do it. So, no, not at all. See, that's a problem. We're all hooked into too many of these damn stupid TV shows that, are reality based. Washington is the best reality, Sin City based reality show that you could ever possibly watch. Something, if you really want to see something really sickening and disgusting, why don't you look up the arrest records of a lot of those politicians, the House of Representatives, the Senate, Congress. Look them up, folks. Are you scared? You don't want to see what they're actually doing? How many people in there are wife beaters? How many people are drug addicts? How many people have been picked up on DUIs or DWIs? Or, God forbid, attempted murder? The numbers are shocking. And these are the same people that year in and year out, that when the time comes in that 4-year period or even a 2-year period, they come out there with them shiny new suits and them big ties and them big smiles and, oh my God, what a beautiful little baby. Vote for me. You know something? I'm going to put your family back to work because you know something? I worked hard to get where I got, and this is where I'm staying because I'm here to help the American people. God bless America. You know something? I'm so sick of these lying assholes that I want to go up there and knock them, beat the living crud out of them. You know something? But that's illegal. It's called assault and battery. But you know how I'm going to beat them? I'm going to tell you how I'm going to beat these politicians. I'm going to get on this damn microphone every week, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to tell you, American people, to get off your damn asses, get out there and start checking these people out. We can no longer have these ridiculous people go in there and run our lives. It is bad enough that our forefathers are spinning in their graves thinking, how could Americans let these people get put into tyranny by our government and totally have us kicked down every damn day of our lives now? Who do I blame? I'm sorry, folks. I don't blame the American government no more. I used to. I blame us. You know something? Each and every one of you, look in the mirror. Every morning you get up, you look in the mirror, and you sit there and you can tell yourself, how bad am I going to sit there and screw my grandkids? How bad am I going to screw my own kids by not paying attention to what's going to happen to them tomorrow? How are they going to survive when I'm dead and gone? You have to teach them to survive. People, It's looking you in the face. It's coming at you like a Mack truck. It's not going to change. There is no hope in change. It's lies and bullshit, if you want to know the truth of it. What do you think is going to happen when Germany and quite a few of these other countries that are starting to ask America, where's our gold? What do you think is going to happen, folks? Especially when they go to sit there and see there's no gold for them. That gold's been sold so many damn times, I don't even think our own government knows who owns the gold. But yet, we still deal with the same wrath, the same BS, the same lies, and we still got to believe these people. For each and every person out there that has military personnel, military background, you know something? 4th of July. This is what I say we do, because I'm going to start preaching it every week as well. For 4th of July, when you fly that flag, turn it upside down. For each and every military person that knows anything about our flags, what the colors mean, what it means to put a flag upside down and fly it, do it. I want to sit there and see how many people across our great nation that can be great again, but we have to get rid of the crap. Flat out. Fly your flag upside down. And for those of you that don't know what it means, it is a distress signal. It means we're in trouble. Flat out. Fly that flag upside down. Any military person that knows, that has any military background, will tell you exactly what it is. The blood of our military, those people that have died, they've died in vain. It wasn't for our freedoms. It was for political conquest. You know, they sit there and say that every one of these soldiers and stuff are great heroes and this and that. Well, you know something? They are heroes. Each and every one of them. But why do you put them out to die? I tell you exactly who I blame. I blame George Bush Jr. You're a disgrace as a president. You're a disgrace as a man. And I think that you should be held for war crimes along with your sorry-ass sidekick, Dick Cheney. You're a disgusting man. You should be sit there and you should both be tried on war crimes along with George Bush Sr. You should all be held for war crimes. And even Barack Obama for sitting there and doing an executive order by going over Congress or keeping them troops there after he sat there and promised during his campaign that he was bringing the troops back within 1 year. People, it's 2013. It's 5 years later. And guess what? The troops ain't all out. So what does that tell you? And here's another tidbit for all those people out there that don't know a whole lot about as far as military. Do you know that during the election, that the majority of the votes that were coming in from overseas and stuff through our military bases were never counted? This is what I've been told by military personnel. Because there was like 2 million extra votes that would have changed it. That would have changed the outcome of the election. Because even our own military does not have faith in their commander-in-chief anymore. People, when our own military does not have faith in a commander-in-chief, that should tell you that there are warning signs. Not to mention that when they come home, the troops that are messed up, that have had problems, that have had, limbs blown away, what do we do with them? You send them to the VA, you drug them up, you kick their asses out in the street, and you tell them, well, hey, come on over, we'll give you a drug supply, we'll send it to your house. I don't get it. What happened to America? What truly happened to America? We have become a nation so enamored by greed and the lifestyles of the Kardashians on TV. It's like, wow, you know, if I had all that money and everything like that, I could be like them. Why? Who cares? You know something? I would rather sit there and be able to help these veterans that come back that have been kicked in the teeth, that just sit there and get this measly paycheck, you know, and then they get told, oh, well, you know, just go to VA. They'll take care of you and you're good to go. We'll retrain you and put you in the job market. They gave their heart and souls. And you know something, America? Guess what? Why don't you look up the statistics of how many of those veterans have committed suicide because they can't deal with the change and how bad they've been kicked in the teeth when they come back? Right now, supposedly, the suicide numbers are greater than the actual vets that have been lost in war. And that's a disgrace. It disgraces me when I sit there and see a veteran on the side of the road asking for a handout. I blame our government for this. You know, because what's funny is a lot of your military countries, as far as overseas and stuff, they take care of their elderly. They take care of their ex-military. But we drug them up and let them sit out and die. You know, and I got to sit there and say, hey, you know, to the Vietnam veterans out there, you know, I wasn't old enough to really see a lot of everything that was going on. I was a kid. You know, I only got to see certain things on video, but as I got older, I got to see more documentation, more documentaries and everything that was in with the Vietnam War era. And you know something? My hat's off and my heart's out to all you guys out there, because to sit there and see what you guys went through, I mean, that was absolutely pure, brutal hell. And for those of you who ever made it back, to sit there and have a country say that they were disgraced and call you baby killers and spit on you and stuff, that's a disgrace alone. You know, to me, I'm sorry to say this, folks, but you know something? The Vietnam vets, they deserve to sit there and have a pat on the back. They deserve to sit there and have a second chance with stuff. They deserve the right to sit there and be able to hold their heads up damn proud and damn high to sit there and say, hey, look, we went over there. We had to do what we were told. They did exactly that. But you know something? I say, hey, hats off to every damn Vietnam veteran out there. You guys kicked ass. You know, you rocked it. I mean, you know, and the sad thing about it is you don't really get a lot of recognition about it. You know, and the fact that we've only got like maybe 500, I think we're under 500 World War II survivors now. You know, hey, hats off to them. I knew a survivor of Pearl Harbor before he passed away. And I'm going to tell you what, the man was a great man. And to sit there and to hear the story of what he said that happened the day of Pearl Harbor from his own eyes was incredible. I mean, even to this day, even now, it still gives me chills to sit there and think about what he sat there and told me about. I mean, I was born in Germany. My godfather was a Stuka pilot. Even the stories, the few couple stories that I got from him, you know, because they're not a proud nation of that war. But I mean, even that would sit there and give you chills. I mean, my God, when you got a leader that sits there and tells you, hey, when we go in there to bomb a certain place, I don't even want the cockroaches to live. And they did that. That blitzkrieg was unbelievable. I mean, they bombed it until there was nothing left alive. Women, children, anything that moved, it was killed. And guess what? You have the same thing over here. When the Allies bombed Europe, they made sure nothing was alive. You know, and this is the whole thing. How much further will our government push us to the point of war within our own country? People, the signs are on the wall right now. Follow the history of Hitler. Follow the history of Mussolini. Follow the history of Napoleon. All of these dictators that went in there and killed massive amounts of people, follow the history lessons. You will see a lot of the same situations that are coming into play. And remember this, it starts like this. You disarm the country. You take away their freedom of speech. You tell them only what you want them to know, and you keep it at that. If they go in there and they decide to scoot around the issue and try and find out more information, you have a secret army that will tell you about it, and those people will be arrested. That army will be within America. It will be our own people that will be in a position to where they get paid or they get some kind of special treatment if they turn their neighbor in. You know, it's crazy. But this is why I say, people, you got to act now. You got to start preparing for the 2014 elections. You know, this ain't no joke. This ain't no kidding around no more. This ain't about Democrats. This ain't about Republicans. It's about Americans. We're fed up. We're mad as hell. And we need the change to be made. Because I know damn good and well, I'm sick and tired of every time I get up in the morning and I got to put my damn clothes on, that every damn thing in there says made in China, made in Taiwan, made in South America. It's a damn shame that I can't get anything with the exception of a damn dollar bill or a coin in my pocket that says made in America. Our government, and to each and every one of them in there, I'm sure there's probably a couple of them in there that are good, but you know something? You're a disgrace to the American people. And I'd be the first one to sit there and ask for each and every one of your resignations. And I'm going to do my damnedest to sit there and see what we can't do about impeaching a president. If the attorneys don't want to talk to it, well, guess what? I'm going through the state attorneys. I'll go through the governor. And you know something? I'll keep going. I'm not going to stop. I don't care if it kills me. Because the American people have got to carry out this. Because if you don't, your children's children's, your great children's, your great great children, grandchildren, and everybody on that kind of an aspect, they're going to be slaves to the system. I see it coming. I know it's coming. And people, we got to make a stand. Very shortly, I will be setting up a website that's going to have a lot of information involved in it. It's going to sit there and have everything from T-shirts to where you can voice your opinions on them. And you know something? And this is what you need to do. Get cracking on it. Take 5 or 10 minutes out of your day. Cut Survivor off a little bit or cut the Kardashians off a little bit. Get online. Start researching bullet points of each and every conversation that you hear about as far as government. It's easy to find. You start catching the bullet points, and next thing you know, you're finding out just how easy and how quick it is to go in there and be able to get it done. So, and this is the whole thing. You know, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure this one out. Hell, I'm a ditch digger. I do construction work. I build houses or I build pools. I build whatever the hell I can build to sit there and survive. Right now, I'm lucky if I could go build a damn garbage can to sit there and make $5. So, and everybody keeps telling me the economy is moving up. Housing's coming back. No, it's not. People, the worst part of it is yet to come. And I'm figuring, if it comes out the way that I'm expecting to, we're going to see the first part of it in June. And the worst part of it will be carried out through the summer. So, we're out of time here. We're going to be done. So get ready for next week's show because it's going to be a doozy because I got something on there that's going to be very interesting. And for those of you people that do fly flags out in front of your houses that actually do listen to me, turn it upside down. Let's see how many people knows what really goes on. Other than that, hey, I can honestly say, God bless America. Let's take American back. Let's start the American party. To hell with these other jackasses. Let's make something happen good. Take care, people. We'll catch you next week.
No matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause.